Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to briefly show you exactly how we set up the time-lapse shot you're seeing right now. In this setup, we have a SliderPLUS mounted on a vertical module and a HeadONE mounted on a tilt module. Additionally, there's another HeadONE at the bottom to rotate the turntable. Here, we have a single V-mount battery on the power module, and we are powering both the HeadONEs and the SliderPLUS. Even though the HeadONE doesn't have a built-in DC in port, thanks to these dummy batteries available on our website, you can plug the cable coming from the power module directly into the bracket and power your 1 series products. Now let's turn on the power module so that all our devices power up. Then, via the app, we'll select all the devices and bring them together into a paired group. For flawless point tracking, I'm entering point mode. The app asks for my setup type, and since my rig includes a turntable, I'm selecting option B. Next, it asks which side of the camera the slider motor is located on. In my case, the motor sits behind the camera. So, on the screen, I select the back of the camera, which is option A. Here, it asks us to level the camera parallel to the ground and face it straight ahead. I position the camera straight forward and press Done. The final question is whether the SliderPLUS is mounted on a tripod. My slider is currently on a tripod, so I select On Tripod and hit Done. I'm now ready to use point mode. In this time-lapse, we want to keep the center of the clock perfectly centered in our frame throughout the entire movement. So, I'm going to teach the center of the clock as a point. I tap on point 1, and the app prompts me to aim the camera directly at the target. I line it up and press Done. I immediately move my camera to a different position, aim it back at the exact same target, press Done again, and complete the point teaching process. Now, we're going to program the main rig movements. Right here, first, I'm bringing my slider to the starting position. I tap and save this position on position A. Now, I'm moving the camera to its final position for the end of the shot, but there's a crucial detail here. As the slider travels downward, the turntable needs to rotate at the same time. I'll be shooting a 30-minute time-lapse. To ensure the minute hand is always facing the camera, I'm rotating the turntable to match a half hour's worth of rotation. Half an hour from now, the minute hand will be facing the camera exactly right here, so I'm saving this setup into the next position slot. Now, let's head back to our starting position. As the slider rises, you can see the turntable rotating a half turn backwards. This is exactly the result we want to see. Before moving on to the time-lapse settings, the most crucial detail to remember is the shutter trigger cable. Make sure to get the compatible cable for your camera from our website. This way, whenever the edelkrone gear gets into position, it will send a command to your camera to take a photo. Now I tap the time-lapse button and start the setup. First, it asks for the total duration. I enter 30 minutes here. Second, it asks for the total number of frames. I enter 250. Third, it gives me the interval info. There will be 7.2 seconds between shots. Perfect. Fourth, it asks for my camera's exposure time. I set my camera's shutter speed to 1 second to capture motion blur on the second hand, so I'll select 1 second here as well. Next, it asks for the start and end positions. Going from A to B is correct, since the top was A and the bottom was B. And finally, it asks which point I want to track. Since P1 is my only point, I select that. We are ready to start. Let's turn off our lights because we'll be shooting a long exposure, so a small amount of light will be enough for us. I'm also dimming our remaining light. Now, I press start on the time-lapse, and here we go. In half an hour, the process will be complete, and here is the final result we achieved.